the first thing that we need to do is to understand where is the market going. All right. So if let's say I'm looking for an entry, all right, the first thing that I need to look for is where is the market coming from and where is the market going. So already we can see that the market is creating higher highs. So we have a low, a high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high. All right, so that's great. Now the other thing that we can see is that right here we have a level, all right, which is quite significant. It is a major level that we can look at. So we have that level right there as our important level that we can now begin to look at. Now, as price comes to this level, all right, there are so many things that are going to happen. And this is where now we begin to look for confirmation, all right, because you cannot just take a trade based off just the fact that, oh, there's a level. At least price should have tested it. So we have this area where price came, all right, and we can see from here the market pushed all the way to the upside. Then what is happening? Price is coming back to the same area. So the fact that the market is coming back to the same area is not a guarantee that we are going just to put our entry right here, then we take our buys. We need to see how the market is going to enter, how the market is going to react off of that level. All right, so we can see we have a lot of multiple touches right here, got the multiple touch right here, and then price comes back again to this same area. So the first thing that we need to do is, once we observe that the market is coming back to this area, let me just now do a bar replay from here. Okay, so now once we observe that the market is coming back to this same area, which is quite an important area of interest, even on the 4 hours, you can see that this is quite an important area of interest. All right, it's an important area of interest. The reason why we are marking it as a zone is because if we mark it just as a single line, which is support, it's going to distort the whole idea of a zone. So a zone has to be considered as a range. Okay, so we can see that price came here, all right, here, pushed to the upside, then price started coming back here, and we can see we have quite a multiple touches on this level. All right, so now what do we do? All right, the next thing that we need to do is to wait for price to come back. So if at all price decides to come back to this area, we not just have to go and take a trade right there and then and say, okay, I'm getting into the market and I'm beginning to trade. What we want to see is confirmation. That's what we want to see. So already we can see that this candlestick, all right, it's a huge candlestick. It's a bullish engulfing. It has engulfed the previous candle, which is quite great. However, we are going to be confronted with this minor area right here. So this minor area could potentially affect price reaction or price behavior, which could potentially cause the market to even continue going to the downside. So what do we want to see? Okay, so what I want to see is either price breaks above it or comes down and give me another confirmation. So price then begins to pull back into that same area. All right, then again you can see again we have another engulfing pattern right here. Okay, so now since price is failing to break below this low, all right, it's now a signal, it's now a sign that what we may be having is an M, all right, or rather a W. Okay, so we have one low here, we have the neck, then we have another low, then we have managed to close as a bullish engulfing pattern. So from here we can now go to either 30 minutes or we can go to even 15 minutes and begin to look for more confirmation. All right, so the area now that we're going to refine down to is this area right here. Okay, so we are now looking at this area as our area of interest. Okay, inside this big range, we're now looking for this area as our area of interest. So now what do we do after we get here? Then we need to wait for further confirmation. Now, again, we need to look at the time when this is happening. Obviously, this will be late nights for me, so I wouldn't even want to take a trade based off that time. I'd rather wait and see what the market is going to do next. Okay, so this is 00, so let's see, let me take it back to the higher time frame. Okay, so we seem to have broken above this area. Okay, we seem to have broken above that area, but then let's see what the market is going to do. Okay, so the market then pushes all the way to the upside, and we come to this area right here. Of course, I would have gotten in right here, but then I just need something a little bit more clear. All right. And also I need to trade within my time of trading. I don't want to just, faking that I'm trading when I'm not in actual sense trading. All right. So let's see now. We hit this area, price put back into this area. We retest this area. Remember, we broke above it. Now we are coming back for a retest. So after the market closes, all right, we might even wait a little bit to see if we are going to have a pullback. Again, it all depends, because right here there's gonna be news, and already if there's gonna be news, then the chance that the market is going to push to the upside are going to be very high. So let me just again do a bar replay just to look at it once more. So again, let's just assume that once price reach this area, then we already switch to our lower time frame. Okay, so once we switch to our lower time frame, we want to see how the market is going to react off of that area. So already you can see this bearish candlestick was the last candlestick to hit this level, and then we have already engulfed it. So after we engulf that candle, all right, I would obviously be looking to take an entry right here. The moment the next candle opens, then put my stop loss down here. All right, and of course, we already know that we have already grabbed some orders right here. So the most probable area that the market might go to is to the upside. So that is a trade that I would then consider to see if I can take. And if it works out, well and good. But if it fails, it's okay. All right, so let's see how the market then works. So we have another pullback right there. Price begins to pull back. And then from there, what happens? Let's see what the market does. Okay, so we now have that move to the upside, and with the coming in of the news, it aligns, and you can see how the market just pushed all the way to the upside. And of course, you could have still taken this trade, right? And can see price still came back to it. And if we were to target that area, we would have still targeted this area, and it would have given us a very nice 1 to 6. So this is one example of how you can approach trade and how you can take those entry confirmation. All right, so let me give you another example, maybe using a different pair. Let's look at Euro USD. If you've observed, I'm just using 2 pairs because you can do this also on other assets. Let's see, Euro USD. Let me pick a different asset. Okay, so that has already have, the analysis, etc. So let's look at the other assets. So here, I'm going to cut from here. Okay, and what do we have here? We already see that the market pulls to the downside. Then we begin to store around this area. So the moment price gives us this support, we want to see how now the market is going to react. Okay, so I already explained how you can determine a support. So you can see these 2 candles here, this black candle and this blue candle creates a support. All right, then price comes to retest that support. Then we come for the 3rd time on that area. So now here already we have closed with a bullish pin bar. All right, this is a huge momentum to the upside. It signifies that buyers have entered into the market. Okay, so what am I going to be looking for? Okay, the next thing that I'll be looking for is I want to see how the market, is going to break this area. Okay, and if at all we are going to break that, if at all we're going to react off of that area, and also this. So these are my 2 areas of interest that I am looking at. Okay, so these are my 2 areas of interest that I'm looking at. So let's see how the market then reacts. So price then breaks above and comes back to this area. Okay, so is this a retest? I don't know, because again, we've still closed bearish. So what I want to see is a bullish candlestick. All right, so that candle now begins to tell me to say the market wants to push to the upside. Then I would also get involved into this trade right here, because obviously my expectation is that the market will start moving to the upside from there. Okay, I don't know how high, but I know that since we already have a break of this area, we've also closed above that area. All right, my expectation then would be the market will start pushing above. Okay, so where would my target? Of course, my target would be just a 1 to 3 or a 1 to 4, but basically it will just be a 1 to 3. Okay, so again, price comes down here, which could also potentially provide a second entry. All right, so here we have this one right here. This is our first entry. Let's say this one is our first entry, and then I would also wait for the second entry, because now the market seems to have come back for a retest right there, and we can take our entry from here, put a stop loss down here. Again, we'll target a 1 to 3. Where's my 1 to 3? My 1 to 3 will be somewhere right here. So in this trade, I'm potentially controlling a 1 to 6. All right. Let's see how then it goes. Okay, so the market begins to push to the upside. I don't know if it is going to keep on pushing to the upside. I'm becoming nervous right now. Okay, because of the behavior of the market. Might just find that the market hits my stop loss. Okay, but let's see how the market goes without fear. All right, so the market then happens to hit my take profit. So for both trades, happens to hit take profit. So this 1 to 4 for this one, and the 1 to 3 for that other one. So how do you approach this kind of an entry? Remember, you start off with a lower time frame. All right, lower time frame, I mean bigger time frame. You need to get the direction first, then identify areas of interest where you think the market might pull back to. Or if price has already pulled back and it is creating some kind of a level which it cannot break, then take that one as your entry. All right. Then from there, you can now begin to scale down to lower time frame. Once price gives you a confirmation from the higher time frame, then scale down to lower time frame to get or to take those continuation kind of setups. And yeah, that's how you go about it. I'll see you in the next lesson.